Hey, welcome back to the Soul Pod. This is Stacy. Well, the last 3 weeks have been pretty nuts. This is the end of September 2025, and it's the third week following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So there's been a lot of darkness in the world. If you're watching this later, if you're watching it now, well, you already know. But I wanted to do something a little more upbeat. There's a lot of greatness in the world. There's a lot of good, and you know what? Sometimes we feel like life is kicking our butt. So this video is going to be about how to beat life when you feel like life is beating you. You ready? Walt Whitman once said, "Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you." I like that thought. I like that thought a lot. But it's easier to say than it is to do, right? I mean, it's like be happy, whistle in the graveyard, like all these great ideas, but they're just ideas. How do you go about doing it? Sometimes it's hard to tell how bad things are when they're really bad. It's only looking back we notice. I remember once when that great financial meltdown happened around 2005. Um, I'd gone through bankruptcy. I was in the wrong industry. I was working as a loan officer at the time, which is, man, talk about ground zero for a bad place to be when the great loan fiasco happened and the whole industry fell apart. Um, so at any rate, I'd been through quite a bit. I'd lost multiple properties. I've had a vehicle uh, repossessed, went through bankruptcy. It was just shattering to my ego, that all this stuff I had put together was gone. I mean, so there I was applying for new jobs. I decided to change careers, and I just kept getting rejection letters. And finally, I was like, okay, I'm going to become a police officer. And so I went through all this stuff to become a police officer. And I mean, everything, like polygraphs, tests, interviews, all this stuff. And it was looking really good. And then I got a letter in the mail. And I remember it was raining that day, and I was living on 20 acres out in the woods. And I saw the letter, and it seemed kind of thin for a welcome aboard letter. So I walked off into the woods, and I opened the letter, and it said, "We regret to inform you." And then it went from there. It was a rainy day, and I was sitting on a log in the forest crying because it was like I can't take any more. Like it was just the last thing for me. I was just broken up. It happens that way sometimes. Sometimes, we get to that point where we just can't carry anymore. So how do you turn that boat around? How do you start to beat back life and get stronger? So here's the trick. Here's the first trick is this. Don't stop. No matter how hard life is beating you down, don't stop. Slow down. Slow down, that's okay. But if you stop, it's so much harder to get moving again. Confucius said, it does not matter how slow we go, as long as we do not stop. We do not stop. Always, always, always moving forward. If you're a sprinter and now you're just jogging, or now you're just walking, that's okay, as long as you don't stop. Now, another great piece of information, a good quote I love is from Robert Frost, and he said, "The best way out is through." I kind of live my life from this, basically. This is really one of my ways of being in the world. You cannot go around the obstacles in your life. When you don't deal with the obstacle, it will always haunt you. If you have, say, you grew up in an abusive household and you just sort of stuffed all the stuff that was going on and you never processed the stuff that was going on, you'll have to do that later. All you've done is put it in a suitcase and set it aside. You must go through, not around. Okay. The best way out is through. And the reason the best way out is through is because it's more direct. It's much more direct. And it's the same thing with when life is kicking our butt. When life's kicking our butt, the best thing we can do is to just get up and keep moving. Even if we're moving slowly, step by step, we're moving through the dark woods so we can get to that meadow on the other side. Okay. So if you're having one of those days, actually, I'm going to encourage you, keep moving, keep moving. It's important to remember at this moment that when the world is beating you down, the one power that you'll always have, no matter what, is your power of your thoughts. The power of your thoughts. Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor, said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we're challenged to change ourselves. You can't control the situation, control yourself. Okay? Because you have absolute authority over you, nobody else, right? You are in charge of you, and you are a weapon you can wield in a really positive way. Your mind, your body, all of you. Eleanor Roosevelt, the great Eleanor Roosevelt, said, do one thing every day that scares you. That was her advice. Do one thing every day that scares you. Why? Because in doing, we become stronger. I know some of you are watching right now and you're going, oh man, I thought you were going to give me a hack, something I could do to, so that when life's kicking my butt, I can just get up and like, yeah, life's not kicking my butt anymore. It's never that way. All personal and spiritual growth requires your participation. Yeah. Self actualization. That first word in self actualization, self, kind of big, kind of big. Very important word. Self actualization, self help, personal growth. That first word should tip you off, personal self, right? So these things do require effort. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut in these things. The shortcut, as I said, in terms of going through stuff, is going directly through it. That's when you're doing yourself a favor. But doing something hard, doing one thing hard every day, or one thing that scares you, as Eleanor Roosevelt put it, you do that because you love yourself enough to do it. Because those are reps. The more reps you do, the stronger you get. Challenge yourself to go through those things. So if you're having one of those days today and life is kicking your butt, pushing you down, or this week has been too much, or this last 3 weeks have just been, they've sat on my heart in a heavy way. Honestly, I've definitely felt the weight of the world this month. And, if you do too, if you have been, or if anything else is going on in your life that's holding you down, I want to remind you, you've got this. And you need to get in the mirror and remind yourself, you've got this. You got this. Because you do. I want you to consider one thing before we go, and that's this. Has there ever been anything that life has handed you that you haven't been able to carry? You're still here. So the answer to that is nope. It's never been anything that life has handed me that took me out, right? It's not, it may not be what you want to carry. You may not have worked through it all yet, but you're carrying it and you're still standing. So if you're having one of those weeks, I welcome you to get in the mirror with yourself. Tell that person, you got this. Because you do. You got this. Thanks for being here. Love you guys for being here. Leave me some happy comments down below, please. I love the comments, man. We've been getting so many people that are participating in the channel lately, and I love what you guys have to say. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.